You're on.
Well, hey, thanks for that countdown, everybody. I'm sorry I didn't hear it. Welcome to St. Augustine this evening, the Mike Davis Show, where anything can and usually does happen, but we're fine with that.
We're early, that's why.
Yes, and I was just going to say Bill Dudley might be coming on the show on Monday, and he's calling me right now. So
I just got off the phone with him.
Did you just get off the phone with him? Did he say if he's coming on the show or not?
No, he did not say that.
Okay. I'm just
It's not all about you, Michael.
Okay. I told him to call my people, so I guess he called you. Your people call my people, and somehow we thought you were my people.
Something totally different.
I know. Hey, we got a great show. We got Troy Blevins is with us today, Amanda, our amazing producer, and Lenny Remo. It doesn't look happy. Have you been looking at poll data lately? You look
No.
Why are you doing this?
No, I'm trying to work on my blood pressure, so I don't even watch the news anymore.
Okay.
Don't worry. When you go to bed, you'll be ahead.
Just don't know if I'll be leading when it's over.
Yeah. In the morning might be a different story.
Yeah. After they recount the recount.
Well, I can tell you, you already early voted in Chicago.
Multiple times.
Michael Allen Davis.
But it won't matter. Chicago will not matter.
Oh, who did this to the seat?
I know.
Take that.
All right, we got an amazing show. Have probably a little bit of trivia for you at the end of this thing because it's been such a crazy week. And we have to skip out of here early. We're on early tonight because Recovery RX has a fundraiser. I'm going, Amanda's going with her husband, Louie. I'm going with my wife and my kids, and we're all going to go have a good time. And
I'm not one of his kids.
No,
I'm not one of his kids.
He's not even one of my in-laws.
No,
he's not even one of my outlaws.
We are not relations.
Yes. Did I tell the country song I heard the other day?
Oh,
I think the title is I like less than half the people I love.
Yeah. Yeah, that's 100% true. And the older you get, the more you prove it.
I thought that's a great title to a country song.
Yeah. The older you get, the less tolerant you are of the ones you love.
Yes. All right. So
and everybody else.
And everyone else.
You kids be quiet. I'm trying to read an ad.
You're doing great.
I know. All right, opening their doors in 2008, Brightway Insurance, the Casey agency, has proudly stood by their customers through hurricanes, major flood, hail, and fires. Through these events, the agency has become a much-needed insurance resource in times of trouble and hardship. Honesty and integrity are the pillars of their core values, says owner Ashley Casey, and they pride themselves on being insurance experts while developing strategies that help their clients meet their insurance needs. Give them a call, Brightway Insurance, the Casey agency. Great folks over there. They insure this show. We love those guys.
Absolutely. Carmelo's Pizzeria, the Tringali family, we love them too. They have owned Carmelo's Pizza forever. It's voted best pizza 9 years in a row. They've got New York style brick oven pizza. They also serve salads, subs, wings, and more. You can do dine-in, takeout, or delivery through Bite Squad and Grubhub. Tringali family would love to share dinner with you tonight. We also have the Mike Davis Show welcomes Emma Concert Association, which has brought world-class performances to St. Augustine for over 46 years. Not only do they host incredible artists, but they also provide music scholarships for students at Flagler College, nurturing the next generation of musicians. Next up on the docket is Boston Brass. They are performing October 27th at the Lewis Auditorium. Since 1986, Boston Brass has set out to create a one-of-a-kind musical experience featuring colorful classical arrangements, burning jazz standards, and original jazz repartee. Their unique blend of music and boisterous fun bridges the gap between classical formality and pure entertainment, captivating both the regular concert goers and newcomers. This world-renowned quintet has played in all 50 states and over 30 countries, performing with orchestras, concerts, marching bands, organists, and jazz bands. Don't miss this unforgettable night. Head to emmaconcerts.com to grab your tickets now. Support live music and local students.
You know you're allowed to edit those.
I've never been given that option.
You have the ability to edit those.
No, I give her the really long reads so I can take a break over here. I can log onto the internet. I can do all that stuff.
That's short compared to the one we had before.
Oh, my gosh.
Land Title of America, whether you realize it or not. When we said we had an hour-long show, they were trying to help us fill it.
Yeah, that was a whole segment on the old radio show.
Emma. We love Emma. Land Title of America, whether you realize it or not, when you refinance the sale or purchase of a home, there's a title company involved. Don't get stuck with some out-of-town title company who doesn't give a crap when you're faced with challenges. Stay local and choose Land Title of America. Just call or text Stephen Collins, 904-501-4481. He's he specializes in all types of real estate transactions. Land Title, your local title company, ensuring America's land one title at a time because
they give it credit.
Well, you threw them a cousin. You threw them a cousin.
Stepping on the line.
So that's what I do when I'm alone, but I forgot that I have other people that might speak.
Also, we've been asked to do this read. Davey sent this over. First Coast Cultural Center's Global Gastronomy Project Happy Hour. Woo! Please join them for this fun-filled complimentary gathering at FCCC 11-1. That's next Friday from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Learn about the project here first with Francisco Guitard, International Institute of Gastronomy, Culture, Art, and Tourism. So, FCC. You guys can go there. It'd be awesome. We'll let you know about it. Jackie Hurd stopped by shortly before you guys got here to drop off the 2025 calendars. So there are calendars here. So far, I've looked at 9 months. Troy, you're not in any of them so far.
Come on,
If I'm not in June, that means she just doesn't love me anymore.
Well, I've tried to get her. I put the serious hard sell on her for a 904 now holiday, the 904 now day, and it's obviously September 4th.
Yes.
And it took me a second to explain it to Jackie. It's like, no, we need to have that. The 904 now is an important part of our local community, and it needs to be recognized on the St. Augustine calendar. So I'm working for it. I'm advocating for one Pete Melfi, who's not anywhere around to say thank you or no thank you or stop. So I did it anyway. So I have calendars for all of you guys because Jackie dropped off a bunch. Davey, I'm leaving yours on your desk.
Thank you, Jackie.
If it's not here in the morning, Lenny took it.
Thanks, Davey.
She also gave me a very nice hug in the parking lot.
She's a very sweet person. Awesome person. She's wonderful.
Yeah, I saw Jackie at Rotary when I spoke at their morning Rotary. She's a Rotarian. So.
Awesome. You know, Pete Melfi's actually, I think, going to Rotary to talk about the Florida Man games.
Oh, is
he will be at our club. If you ever read the bulletins that they send out. That
We have a bulletin?
Yes, we have a bulletin Taj Alexander sends out. And she's the president of the club. And he'll be there on a Monday when I have something to do. And it's like, great.
Is that what we call that?
The day that I can't heckle him. So, yes.
All right. When's he coming in?
Monday the 4th.
Oh, okay.
Monday the 4th. He's also trying to...
Don't worry. I'll be there for you, Pete.
Thank you, Pete. Pete, somebody will be there supporting you, man. It won't be me. Father Matt update.
Yeah.
Really important Father Matt Marino update. I will let you give the Father Matt Marino update.
Yeah. So I got a picture and a text message from him today. So he is awake and he's recovering. He still has a bit to go in his recovery, obviously, looking at a bit more of a hospital stay. But we're grateful to hear from Father Matt in the Trinity staff text, and just so blessed by all the first responders and the law enforcement officers, everyone that reacted quickly and really saved his life.
That's awesome. Yeah. Praying for Father Matt, asking for you guys to continue to pray for him. Remarkable that he is doing as well as he is after
Prayers
such
for
a
recovery,
attack.
protection from infection, discernment for his medical staff, and pray over them as well. There's been a lot that has happened. People that have reached out and been very sweet and supportive to Trinity Parish staff and church in general, which has been cool to see. But this is just, it's been a lot.
Such a weird, we were talking about it on the morning show. And, if you put 100 people in the room and you say, who do you think's the least likely to get stabbed? Father Matt's going to be 99 or 100 on that list.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, when I heard
Are you in the room?
I'm in the top 10.
I'm top 5. Baby,
I'm in the top 10. Well, it depends on who's in the room, but I'm in the top 10 in most. But when I heard it, I was like, it was Father Matt? I thought it was, some other type of some type of squabble or something like that. And I was like, okay, that doesn't sound right at all.
Just a genuinely nice person.
Wonderful man.
Yeah, wonderful guy. So, yes.
It seems like she was just, he wasn't the first person she threatened with a knife that day. And so the first person got away. She just kept walking over to people asking for help or trying to get their attention, like, excuse me, can you help me? And that was the circumstance. It happened at McDonald's. before, the McDonald's downtown, and then she took off from there, and happened to be Father Matt that she ran into next and said excuse me to. So wild that those kind of events don't happen often, but yeah, she doesn't know him, he doesn't know her, and she just seemed like she was ready for violence.
And I heard about it because Maeve School's right in that area, and we got the shutdown right away, immediately, and so it was just to me it was an absolute just shock when I found out. I knew all about the rest of the story, and then I found out who the victim was. Probably an hour or two later. Yeah, and it was crazy.
Yeah, because I'm on staff, I started getting calls from people outside of the church because they were downtown and they had heard about it. And so people started calling me, asking me what I knew, since obviously I'm a parishioner and I work there. So yeah, that was not the way you want to find out about something like that. So then it's, well, did this actually happen? No one on campus was answering messages because obviously they were on lockdown. There's preschool at the church. So yeah, it was a very strange and scary morning.
Yes. And we had employees that were down there, so we were calling the employees and warning them, hey, you need to be careful.
Keep an eye out.
There's a person out there, and you need to hear. We're sending the pictures out once we had pictures, so yes. Yeah. All right, you have one other update. You're just full of updates today. Today is the Amanda update. Well, that too.
So I emailed Vicky Oakes because I was curious last night.
I didn't even get to introduce the voter update, but you go right ahead. Just run right over me introducing what an amazing job you did tracking down Vicky Oakes in the busiest time of her year.
I heard him throw it to you.
Yeah,
I heard him throw it to you.
That's
So you did. He threw it to you, and then he tried to take it back because his Alzheimer's kicked in. And he's like, "Wait, I forgot to say this." So just so you know, I heard it.
Okay.
Lenny didn't hear any of it.
Yeah,
he still doesn't know we even started taping.
Are we on? Is this mic live?
You've thrown things to me before, so I know.
Okay.
But go ahead. It's your show. It's got your name on the sign.
That's right.
It's got your name on it.
I'm going to give you the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, no. We would like Amanda to give us a voter update because she did extensive research that she would like to share with you.
Hi, everybody.
That's what we had to come back for?
Yes.
So I emailed Vicky Oakes because I was curious. We keep hearing about all these long lines at early voting, and I was curious if these lines were longer or shorter than they were in 2020. So I asked if that information was available on her website. She said it's not, but she did give me the first, second, and third day totals from 2020 to 2024, or at least the difference. So opening day, it was 500 less than 2020's opening day. Tuesday, so that was the second day of early voting. It was 563 less than the second day of early voting in 2020. And then today, it was the highest day yet. It was 78 more than day 3 of 2020. So by those numbers, we're still behind 2020's early voting by about 1,000 votes.
That's
countywide? That's in St. Johns County.
She does a fabulous job, by the way.
Yeah, she's
that
fantastic.
woman's terrific. She really she runs a great election.
And I keep emailing her after this show's off the air, so it's sometime around between 6 and 6:30, and she emails me back within 15 minutes.
Did you get any numbers on mail-in ballots?
That's just raw numbers of early voters.
About 20,000 mail-in ballots, and roughly, I'm doing this from memory from about 30 minutes ago, 28 or 29,000 early votes.
Okay.
So obviously, because we're so heavily Republican registered in this county, the Republicans are outpacing the Democrats, and so far the independents, surprisingly, are behind the Democrats. But Democrats tend to do mail-in voting more than the other two groups. So we'll see where that goes.
And those numbers apparently are starting to change nationwide.
Yeah.
Republicans,
Arizona, North Carolina.
Republicans have gotten in the early voting game. Right. And so the question is, where will they be in relation to voting day? And will there still be a huge Republican turnout on voting day, or will all the ballots already be in? And then for me, the issue that I had with 2020 is every state does it differently. In Florida, they count the mail-in ballots and early ballots or early voting first.
Yeah.
During the day of the election, they're counting those. So when the polls close, the first release or dump of information is those votes.
Okay.
Other states do it the opposite way. They count everything else, and then they count the mail-in ballots for days and days and weeks and months and years. So, yes.
My question to that point, though, is that we've seen a larger number of Republicans registering this cycle than Democrats registering. And a certain number of those are Democrats leaving the Democratic Party and registering Republican, like Tulsi Gabbard. So I'm wondering if
You're welcome to
it's
her.
if it's the influx of Democrats to the Republican Party that are the reason for that shift in early voting numbers. If the Republicans themselves are making a push to early vote, or if it's in large part maybe the independents and the Democrats that typically early vote by nature that are in the Republican Party now that are causing
That's
that.
an interesting point.
Now you're talking nationwide?
Yeah.
Okay. So I will tell you this. I heard the snicker about Tulsi from you, Lenny. We will take Tulsi in the Republican Party.
You get her.
You are grateful to have Liz and her dad.
Do we have to get the dad?
That's
You got Liz
That's
and
fair.
her dad.
Wait,
It's
is it a
fair
package deal?
Sold. Done. It's over.
Can't we just have
got
Liz?
it in before the trading deadline. I feel
Damn.
so happy.
Do we get a draft choice out of
You
this?
got Liz and her dad.
Player to be named later.
That'd be fine.
You're getting,
No, let's
you're
do
getting
this right.
RFK.
Yeah, politician.
He's gone wiggier still.
Let's do this. Politician with a scandal to be named later.
There you go.
You can have that.
Boy, that is a wide open field.
Well,
do you mean?
the good news is if they're with the scandal, then they're on the right side if they go to the Democrats, because the Democrats circle around the scandal,
Yes.
and the Republicans just throw people to
Yeah,
the wolves.
they bail people.
They
Yeah.
really, really.
They don't
Bail
circle
on
the
people.
wagons on the Republican side.
No, they're not like the Buffalo
they're-
Bills.
Yeah.
They're kind of pathetic in that I don't want to lose my invitation to these fancy galas, so I don't want to be seen on the wrong side of history. So they'll just throw their friends off the bus, under the bus,
All right.
whatever the analogy is.
Let me get this out of the way too. Early,
All right.
Troy Blevins, congratulations on the huge win this weekend. The Miami Hurricanes dominating, destroying, and setting a record for points scored against the Florida State Seminoles. Congratulations.
In case you're wanting to know what Mike is talking about, Mike is trying to jinx my team, which is what we do to each other. And this of all jinx games, I know Miami's in trouble because there is no way on paper, in any way, shape, or form, Miami should lose to Florida.
No.
But Miami's probably going to lose to Florida State because Miami's undefeated and Florida State's like 1-5, right?
If Florida State accidentally went to Miami Senior High Friday night, getting the date confused and the location, I'm not sure we can win that game either.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can tell you, it looks like you have amazing athletes, but it's 11 individuals going. Sometimes when I watch Florida State play this year, it looks like that game, and Lenny, I know you know this, Mike, you know this, and it's probably too early for you, but there was a metal magnetic football game
Yes.
that would go, and
Yeah.
you line your guys up going in a certain direction, and there's always that one guy going in a
Called
circle.
electric football.
Yeah, electric football.
I actually do know that game.
I couldn't afford one,
Yes.
but my buddy Johnny had one, and there was always that one guy that went around in a circle, and every once in a while, your defensive backs look like that one guy going
They
around
had
in a
little
circle.
prongs on the bottom, like
Yeah.
you could control them. It was like
No.
the biggest. It was such a. That was so bad.
Yeah, but I mean,
That might have been the worst kid game ever
This
with
is
electricity.
of all setup games. This is a setup game for Miami. Miami's ranked number 6 right now. If they lose to Florida State, they might drop to 60. So, and it could happen. It's very well. And just because we're talking about it this much, I feel like it's going to happen.
All right. So very, very, very happy to. Big news tomorrow. Big news tomorrow. Donald Trump will be on the Joe Rogan Experience.
Okay.
I hear it's a popular podcast. I'm not sure that.
Are they going to
that's
smoke
true.
weed like Elon?
I don't know. I would thought that
He's
was one of my
teetotaler.
questions. So, do you think this is a good thing or a bad thing?
Oh,
Let's go.
In my opinion?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's a good thing. I mean, Rogan has an amazing following. You know, and he's got a fairly neutral following. So he's got guys on both sides. So I think it's a good thing for Trump.
Do Rogan's, do you think, and we have no data on this, there's no way to confirm, right, this, do you think Joe Rogan's followers vote at the same rate that people that don't watch Joe Rogan? I mean, I would say just yes, but I don't know.
I would say it's probably pretty active.
Okay.
Because I mean, people that don't vote are people that don't seek out certain information in a lot of times. And if you're watching Rogan, you are seeking out some information, one way or the other. You're seeking out information, and I'd say it's probably a little bit on the plus side on the Rogan listener.
Lenny?
Yeah. Well, he's gone from, shock jock to I hate to say it, mainstream media, because he's got quite a following. It's well over 1 million people that listen to his podcast daily. And he's been fairly neutral in this election to the best of my knowledge. He was swinging Harris, he was swinging Trump. So I don't necessarily know that he's even taken a position or endorsed anybody from what I've been reading. But it's interesting, just on a side note, how this man's come from feeding people grubs and mealy bugs on, what was it? Not Survivor, Fear Factor. To be the man that he is now. He went from comedian on news radio to being news radio. So it's a huge leap for him, and it'll be interesting to see. I think Kamala was on his show as well already.
No.
Oh, I thought she did his show.
No.
That would be fake news, Lenny.
Yeah.
Oh,
That would
okay.
be fake news.
Okay.
So what's
What did I
weird,
think you did?
Donald Trump was asked, or he was on a podcast, and the guy was like, "You need to do Rogan," and he said, "I think we're doing Rogan." And I'm doing that, I think. And so that was the first anyone heard that Donald Trump was in talks, because Rogan had said he would never have Trump on. He said in 2022 he would never have Trump on. He never wanted to help Trump. He was a never Trumper post 2020 up until very recently when he started to become more neutral. So after Donald Trump made that statement on the podcast, Kamala Harris's people said, "We're in talks with Joe Rogan's people."
Okay, that's
And
where I
so
heard that.
that's where that went all around the world, which I think was a horrible move. Unless she's committed to the terms, unless she is going on that show, you don't say we're in talks with Joe Rogan. Because they just legitimized, Joe Rogan said he wouldn't have one on without the other. So they just legitimized this interview because they said we were in talks with Joe Rogan too. And now there's no announcement about Kamala Harris having a date. I doubt she would do it because it's a 3-hour conversation. She hasn't done an hour interview since she's been the presidential candidate.
Yeah.
So
I think
Donald's
Joe
not too
Rogan-
exhausted to do 3 hours? Because I heard the man was exhausted, he kept saying.
Wait a
That's
minute,
what
wait-
your candidate
wait a
keeps
minute,
saying.
wait a
No, that's what he
minute,
kept saying.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Which candidate took a day off this week?
She was doing interviews from home.
Which candidate took a day off this week?
Okay.
Tuesday was a lay day.
I
She
can
took a
tell you
Joe Biden and took the day off.
I will not be surprised if within the next week they announce Kamala also being on Joe Rogan.
I will tell you, if she shows up on that, it's going to be it will make Brett Baer's interview with her look like an amazing success for Kamala.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan is going to throw questions at her and Trump that neither one of them had before, and she is not suited to handle that type of adversity. Trump can talk about anything because
Trump's
the
got to
business
control, and Trump's done a better job in this campaign than he did in 2020. But Trump's got to control his ego a little bit.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when he gets asked a question,
Yeah.
he flexes, and it's not a good flex for him.
Mm-hmm.
Because guess who would get more votes than Trump? Rogan would right now. So he would be flexing in the wrong direction. And so that if Trump controls that and answers calmly instead of like, oh, well, this is over. But I mean, I could see Rogan asking him a question and the old Trump would get up and say, I'm done.
Now, I don't see that because I think he's been through all the antagonism and attacks from the mainstream media and any interview or debate he's ever done. If you watched him on Gutfeld, he was very relaxed. He was great. If you watched him with Tyrus, same way, absolutely amazing. Yeah. If you watched him with Andrew Schultz, it was hilarious. Yeah. Trump was
that's what I'm saying. This year,
funny.
This year, he's doing a much better. In 2020, he walked out of 2 or 3 interviews because someone asked him the wrong question.
Yeah.
And, not being approachable like that hurts him in a lot of ways. And I if he stays the path he's at, he's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
And when is that interview?
Friday.
It's tomorrow.
Excellent.
And Kamala's will not be happening. I don't see her getting on. I don't see her signing up. Oh my God! Special guest star Davey is in the house.
Hey, let's walk this weekend, everybody! Yay! That's for you. You got yours.
I got my shirts.
And I bummed one for you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's see you 8 a.m. Ripley's Believe It or Not. Woo!
And there's the thumbnail.
That's a thumbnail. Well, that's the most exciting and attractive band we've ever had on this show. Stop by.
You and I looked at each other when we heard someone open the door.
Yeah. It was a slam.
Yeah.
It was a door slam. Davey was so excited.
When we heard the door, you and I went, my back's to the door, which I hate. So I was looking at you like, oh, you got this, right?
Yeah, I got this.
I knew it was coming.
And even though he was a traitor, there's one for Blake. Signed up for Flagler College and now walk with 904 now.
That stinky job.
Thank
Hold
you,
that
Davey.
shirt up. Hold the shirt up. I know Davey held it up. I'm going to give Troy
You
something.
want me to hold up Blake's or mine?
Well, Blake's
Because the
is bigger.
sizes are a little bit different.
Blake's is bigger. Hold up Blake's so
There
we
you
can
go.
actually read it. That's it. It
It's
looks great.
beautiful.
And look at all
Nice.
these amazing
It's so
sponsors on the back.
Yeah.
I'm going to flip it around here
Love
so
these
you can
shirts.
see how many sponsors and how hard Davey was working.
Amazing
Yeah.
sponsor.
And the Bailey family were working on this.
That is awesome.
Looks like the 904 now is a sponsor.
It is.
Atta boy.
They've been to more of these since I've been going than you have, sir.
I have. Well, usually I'm out of the country
You are.
surfing when this happens. It's usually around the same time period, and
Because I'm covering shows and then I have to go
Yes.
do the walk.
That's it. That's it.
Well, it's nice we got deliveries.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I know.
Pretty sweet.
I had Alicia Bailey deliver mine to my house. So,
Okay.
just saying. I mean, just saying. Davey's awesome, but when Alicia brings you anything, and I got a bag with kisses in it. So yeah.
You got
Where's the
kisses from
kisses,
Alicia
Davey?
Bailey.
Davey.
Where's the kisses?
Oh, you mean
Darcy.
chocolate kisses?
Yes. Yes.
Davey gave me kisses this morning, so I win.
All right.
I abstain.
Going around randomly, starting with Lenny. Right now, week and a half out. Who do you have winning the Electoral College? Who do you have winning the popular vote?
Kamala winning the popular vote, and I have a feeling that Trump may squeak out the Electoral College. And it won't be a squeak out because if it swings, those are big chunks of votes. So I'm a little nervous these days.
Okay. So you're there. Amanda?
I'm just gonna go for broke and say Trump's gonna get both.
All right.
I don't think there's a chance, but I'm speaking it into reality.
Okay.
And because I'm not gonna be fed to sharks if I'm wrong.
Troy Blevins.
Can I ask you a question first?
New York.
Is the bet on? Is the bet on or off?
Listen. Let's do it this way. If the Knowles win Saturday, I'm taking New York.
Then you think Trump's winning
Then
New
I
York?
Trump's got New York.
The odds are about the same.
So basically, you're hedging your bet with house money.
If they win,
Okay.
I got New York.
Then you gotta take
I got
New York. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
If they lose,
I'm going with that.
If they lose, ask me Monday.
Okay. All right. I'm good with that.
Yeah, I think that way we can play that into
All
the
right,
game.
and I'm sticking with what I said. I think it goes by what Virginia does, but I think Kamala wins the popular vote, and Trump. If Trump takes Virginia, it's going to be over early.
Okay.
I want it to be over early. One way or the other. I want it to be a trouncing just so people can't fight about it for the next 4 years and we can do something about this economy.
So
That'd be nice.
I have watched a lot of stuff. I've read more than I promised myself I would read. A lot of articles on left and right.
Have you
side
met
and
you?
everything. I told myself don't do it, but I did some deep dives into it, and there's some interesting trends going on. One, the early voting we talked about earlier, but also there's some demographic shifts going on in this election. They started in 2016. COVID, I think, kind of tamped them down because there was a lot going on with COVID and with the aftermath of George Floyd. Right? That's all gone. What you've had is 4 years of a really tough economy and 4 years of people in the middle class struggling. And I think this shift of working class voters to the Republican Party is only going to increase. And I think you have Kamala Harris is seen as inauthentic. And I don't think she's going to be able to pull anywhere near the number of African-American voters that Obama or Joe Biden did, or even Hillary did. And Latino voters, as prophesized by Troy Blevins on the Uncommon Ground radio show years ago, are beginning to swing right because so many of the issues
that shift we're starting to see,
Yes.
and it's it just falls in line with we talked about this many times on the radio. Is they're a religious based decision making group.
Yep.
And if you're a religious-based decision-making group, you're going to trend towards the Republican Party. And it's starting to truly show as the numbers are coming out with the Latino side.
Yeah, and I think the difference between now and 2016 is Hillary Clinton was competent but despised.
Mm-hmm.
No one respects Kamala on either side. And she didn't earn a single vote on the way there. I mean, Hillary earned her votes, and she managed to manipulate the democratic system to get rid of Bernie. She did that in a very tough political environment. And Harris has had to do none of that. And I read an article today with some minority voters, and they all said the same thing. We don't trust her in a room to defend the United States if she had to negotiate with Putin. And that, to me, was kind of like the pushing me over the edge of going, I think Trump wins the Electoral College. Right now, in the Real Clear Politics average, he's over 300. There was a great article that said, look, usually the averages in those swing states are off by 3 points. They're very close states. So if they're off 3 points in Harris's favor, she could sweep all of them. Mm-hmm. If they're off 3 points in Trump's favor, he's sweeping all of them. Mm-hmm. And in either way, it could turn into a blowout because of that if they all go the same way. But I just think people are fed up with pricing. I think they're fed up with some of the issues that have been forced upon this country that didn't need to be forced upon this country. And so I think Trump wins the Electoral College. I think he wins it easily. And I'm praying that he wins the popular vote, because Democrats have been able to avoid looking at the faults within their party, because in 2016, when they lost, they blamed Trump and they blamed Russia. In 2020, when they won, they claimed a mandate and just kept going. Republicans have had to sit down over the last 8-12 years, especially the Obama years, and look at what aren't we doing to communicate to voters. Mm-hmm. Democrats haven't had to do that. They have avoided that, and they need an election to kind of jar them into, hey, you guys are talking about things that don't matter to voters.
I can tell you this, and Amanda hit on it a little bit earlier. I always said it had to do with gas prices, which way gas prices are. But on this one, I think it's in the grocery store more than in the gas. In 2008, Obama had the benefit of gas prices were $4 a gallon. All right. All during W's stuff, it was at $4 a gallon when the election took place. This one, it got up to $3.50. Now we're around the $3 mark. People are feeling a little better about gas prices. But at the grocery store, you go to buy your bucket of chicken, and it used to be $8.99 4 years ago. Now it's $17.99.
Mm-hmm. Dude,
I mean, it's like, all right, I put it back. And I'm not even a guy who really looks at prices a whole lot.
You do now.
I do. Mm-hmm. And I don't take family members shopping with me.
Yeah.
Because I'm the worst.
They don't want to be seen with
No. They want to go to the grocery store. They want to go to the grocery store, but I can't say no. Like if I take the boys with me, they're like grabbing all this stuff, and I'm like, oh.
Okay, two things. The first point, Democrats are horrible at messaging. I've said that on this show. I've said that for years, and as a Democratic politician in New York, I said that to the party there. Mm-hmm. Democrats can't get out of their own way. They can't message worth a damn. They can't respond to a situation worth a damn. And they're horrible at it. I mean, it's almost embarrassing. It really is how bad.
You might have nominated the poster child for what you just described.
Who dat?
Kamala Harris.
Okay.
You might have nominated the worst person to deliver a message.
There's no messaging, and there hasn't been. And it's not just her. It's the Democratic Party as a whole. Mm-hmm. And it really is embarrassing at times. But also, I think prices are coming down. Gases are coming down. I go to the supermarket weekly. And I've noticed that prices are coming down, sales are coming down. You look at a Winn-Dixie circular, the prices are dramatically, well, maybe not dramatically, but lower than they were 2 months ago. But it's too little too late. And I don't think people are going to understand that as well, because it's so ingrained that, oh my God, prices are horrible. We're starving to death. And it's only going to get better. On the last point, I got a big bucket, not for $17.95, mind you, but be careful what you wish for, because things may not be better internationally or economically if Trump gets into office. There's a lot of articles that are saying that he's going to tank the economy. He may find some avenues to make it look like he's not doing it, but I think there could be some hard years if he goes in there. And I'm not even talking about his social policies, which are abhorrent. You can't round up. Who's going to mow a lawn, in all honesty? Who's going to be working at McDonald's? He throws 20 million people. Okay.
I'm on my own lawn. So
Well, there you go. Right,
my own
right.
lawn. I've got my
I
yard.
don't.
Right.
I got my yard. I'm good.
Right.
I don't
You
mow
have,
mine.
you have Blake.
Girlfriend does.
Yeah,
Right,
Have
exactly.
you heard old
No, I
school?
don't.
This
Right.
is the definition of old
And
school.
you know what?
Yeah.
And I'm with you, brother.
I've
It
got
really
my yard.
is.
Yeah.
You know, because there's too many people that are willing to pay. Well, that's the affluence in America today. Mow my lawn.
Mhm.
But, you know, first of all,
I justified it, by the way. Yeah, and that's 20 years ago. I put it down on pencil and why I didn't, because I hated to mow my lawn.
Okay.
Mike actually enjoys mowing his lawn.
Okay.
20
it's
years
just-
ago, I didn't do it because I was coaching my kids. It was either coach my kids on the weekend
Right.
or do the yard. And so I let somebody else do the yard so I could spend time with my kids.
That was on my
As soon as,
spreadsheet.
as soon
Time
as
with
my
children.
kids became old enough
I was
that
gonna
they
say.
could cut the yard, they cut the yard.
right.
I'd have to go teach them some stuff. And then as soon as they left, I was like, thank God I get to do my own yard again.
There you
I was
go.
so happy.
I
There's some serenity in that.
I never enjoyed it. And the part I hated about mowing my yard was going to get the gas, checking the spark plug, checking the oil, doing all the stuff, like mowing the yard didn't bother me.
Do you see
all
the
the
smile
prep.
on my face over here?
All
That
the
was
prep.
all the fun stuff that happens when you cut
That's
the yard.
not fun. That's not
Oh
fun
my
stuff.
gosh.
The satisfaction of cutting the yard,
You
like
have taken all the
looking,
enjoyment out of my life.
looking back and going, oh, that looks good. That part I like. Everything leading up to mowing the lawn, that blows.
Wait, what's a spark plug? I'm just kidding. I know what a spark plug
It's
is. I'm
something
kidding.
that they use in football.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
In the football that Biden's holding right
Yes.
now.
All
I
right.
thought it was. Never mind.
So
I'm not going to say where I
we
thought it
all
was.
interrupted Lenny over
Yes.
cutting the grass. Your comment was, who's going to cut the yard if you do mass deportations?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, Eisenhower did mass deportations.
Of
Illegal immigrants.
who
You
were,
got
who were?
People that had gotten in the country illegally, and Eisenhower got rid of all of them in like 6 months. Granted, it was less people. It was
Right.
after World War II.
Right.
It was
Americans were coming
significantly
back,
less people, but-
and they needed jobs. But we have people here that have a long criminal history
No doubt.
that should not be here.
Agreed.
They should be gone. We should also all sit down and go, you know what? We need X number of people that want to work the farms and want to work certain locations and come up with a work visa. That should be done.
What?
If Republicans are lucky enough to get the House and the Senate and they don't get that through, they're dumbasses. They're absolute dumbasses. And I'm going to
No,
tell you that.
And
right
I'm
now.
Well,
not good with history.
all right.
I'm not good with history, but
Sure.
I think there was a Republican that signed the largest amnesty bill.
did.
Ronald Reagan.
What was that guy's
Ronald
name?
Reagan.
All right.
Oh,
Yep, Ronald
duh.
Reagan.
Now,
And that just proves that, you know,
can't
every
trust Democrats on
every
amnesty.
person is fallible. He was a Democrat to start with.
No, that was Reagan would say later. That was one of the biggest mistakes. He was promised if he signed the amnesty, they would put better border controls in. They'd put better immigration policy in. And the Democrats that controlled the House at the time did not. And so he got snookered. He should have never signed it, which is why you don't see any Republican signing anything on immigration that a Democrat puts forward.
Yeah.
They screwed Reagan, and Democrats have not forgotten that.
they didn't
The
sign anything on
Republicans have not
they didn't
forgotten.
sign anything on immigration on a bipartisan level either until, you know,
You guys had the House and the Senate for 2 years. The first 2 years of Biden, you had an opportunity to put forth whatever immigration plan you wanted, and it would have gone through.
Dreamers.
You were
immigration,
fools for not
everything.
doing it.
I'm glad you brought up
You were
Dreamers.
fools for not doing it. You had the opportunity. You had the ability. You pushed through a bunch of stupid shit that raised prices on everybody instead of fixing the one thing that could have. If immigration was not as bad as it is right now, and prices were slightly elevated, I think this is a different race, and Harris is maybe headed towards.
Also,
the right.
there was
16
already talk about Roe v. Wade being overturned. They could have substantiated Roe v. Wade at the federal level before it was ever overturned in the event, because it was Donald Trump put in all these judges. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. They didn't do anything.
Well, you had to
So,
get through the
too little, too
filibuster,
late.
so it wasn't going to be that easy.
But you never brought it up.
You never brought it up.
You had the control. Now I will say the
Probably
same
because they
thing.
know. Because would you rather bring it up and lose, which may have been a good political ploy, or not bring it up and not lose? Because with the filibuster, it wasn't going to get through the Senate.
Hey, here's my thing. If you get to that level and you've advocated for policies and you decide not to pursue them at that level, why in the hell did you work to get to that level?
What?
point.
What?
But I wanna bring up something that-
Didn't he have both?
Yes.
Also, didn't I mean?
Yeah.
Trump had both
Yeah,
too.
he got the
He
wall
had-
through. That's
he
why he
had
got the
Paul.
wall
He got
through.
the wall
We
through.
got the wall
Yeah,
through.
you
That
got
was it,
Good.
baby.
So if he
It took
gets
it-
back,
it took
if
80
he
miles.
if he gets
Yes.
back in this year, is he going to build it?
I hope so.
So, but Amanda mentioned the Dreamers. We're talking immigration. We're talking mass deportation. J.D. Vance is all of a sudden vocally saying, yeah, the Dreamers got to go too. How is that fair on any level to these children, first of all? And why is that necessary?
Well, first of all, I don't know how the Dreamers got here. I think
They were bought by their parents.
illegally.
Yes.
Okay. So what you then do is you say, we're going to let, and some of these Dreamers are now
Adults.
20-year-olds. They're adults, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they've been here illegally all that time.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, are we just letting the Dreamer in, or are we letting the Dreamer and their family in?
Well, the families came and brought the kids, but the kids are a separate
No,
class.
he's
and,
talking about the dreamers that
If
have
you
become
let the
adults
dreamer- if you
and
can-
now
now
have
have
kids
children?
again.
No, no, no,
We
I'm
got
talking
a
about-
second, we got a second generation of dreamers right
okay,
now.
well, by unless you're changing birthright, they're American citizens.
That's exactly it.
So you can't get rid of them legally.
Now they're
but,
dreamers with an anchor.
With an anchor. So
Yeah.
here's my issue: is if the Dreamer gets it, do they then get to get their mom and dad in?
That brought
Right?
them in
Do
illegally.
they brought them in illegally? So to me, you got to have a system of laws, and there has to be a punishment if you break the law. That's how society works. It's how it's always worked. To tell people you get to break the law, and then you get to the front of the line, is a slap in the face to every single immigrant that did it the right way. Now, if you want to figure out some carve-outs, and there's some punishments for that, and there's some taxes that have to be paid and some other stuff, now we're talking. But if it's just a blanket, yeah, your parents brought you here illegally 20 years ago, you're now a citizen, and they're citizens, and your kids are citizens, we're getting screwed. That's the worst deal you could ever have in your life.
Well,
That's a horrible
it's hard.
deal.
It's hard to accuse a 2 or 3 year old child brought across the border by their parents of breaking the law because they weren't cognizant of it, nor did they do it willfully or of their own volition.
Does any other
So
country do that though?
I have no idea.
No,
But,
they don't.
but
no
the other thing
country
is, it's
does
been,
it.
No,
you know,
that's what it does.
and nobody's taking the advantage of trying to legalize or at least naturalize some of these people and get them a social security number and
Okay.
get them paying taxes.
Lenny, you are so wrong. I'm telling you right now, you are so wrong because I have an amazing family that's very, very close to me that has paid over $1 million and done it the right way and has worked. And it's been 7 years. One of the 4 are now citizens. The other 3 are still waiting on their stuff.
Right.
And they started on day 1. All right.
Yeah.
On day 1, doing it the right way.
Open businesses.
And they open
employed
businesses
people,
and they
paid taxes,
They made it
and
work.
never took government
So
services.
I am
And
sympathetic.
so three of them have done it illegally. Because
No, they
Fill
have
out
green
the paperwork.
cards.
They have
Okay.
green
No, they
cards.
have green cards.
So?
They've done everything legally. They
Okay.
went completely by the book. And to then say, you get it, how fair is that to that family?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That is not fair. That is not the way it's supposed to be. You know, we have these laws in place. I always said we follow these laws and these laws need to be enforced. And that's where our problem's at. There are a lot of working people here that are getting their green cards that have gotten here and going through the process after the fact. There is a process for that too. It's the ones that get here, extend beyond, and never go back and disappear within our organization and then are using our system taken away from our kids. I have a problem with that.
That's a different caliber of
Just
individual.
you're a criminal. I'm sorry. There's no other way to look at it. You are a criminal at that point. You're a criminal when you came in and the way you came in, and you're a criminal if you stay beyond your thing. The laws need to be enforced that are there. I have no problem with the laws that are there. All right. If you went into a store and robbed the store, you would be in jail. Why aren't these laws the same? I mean, that's.
Other country.
And I'm telling you,
you're 100% right.
I am sympathetic, and I think the whole system needs to be revamped. But the laws that are in place actually work. How we handle the dreamers and how we handle the anchor babies and things like that has to be reworked. You know, I'm not all about 100% deportation. If you can prove, this would be my strategy. If you can prove you've lived here, you have a job, you get put into the system in the proper manner, you have to pay the proper bills, you have to pay the taxes, you have to pay all those things, I'm okay.
And no
but if you're,
criminal record.
if you're here and you've been doing the gang activity that's happening in El Paso and happening in a lot of the border, my very good friend lives in El Paso, so that's why I'm throwing it out there. He ran for mayor like 4 years ago for El Paso. They got a huge problem. So I am in favor of the American dream, but us do it the proper way. And I still like my theory. They should put me in charge of this, Mike, because
I love it.
You know, if
Best
you
theory
come
you ever had.
come over here illegally, you don't want to play by the rules. We send you back, and then we take the money from our what we're giving you in aid, because we're giving almost $1 billion in aid to Mexico.
Right.
We just minus it away from it every time we send someone back. What it costs us, it costs them. And Mexico starts to participate in the solution. Mexico's not participating in the solution right now. And without them participating in the solution, we're never going to have a solution.
Well,
and it doesn't matter if it's Trump and if it
had
doesn't
them
matter.
participating in the
No,
solution.
he didn't.
Come on.
He had them.
No, he
holding-
didn't.
He had to remain in Mexico.
He had.
And how well did that work?
Like, if you look at
Right,
the
they were
numbers,
coming over the border.
you look at the numbers, and these numbers are skewed because the economy was better.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the numbers, Obama's last year compared to Trump's first year,
Mm-hmm.
Trump's numbers were higher in illegals.
You wanna
His
know-
second year was higher. His third year was even higher. And it has to do with the economy because there's work here.
But it also had to do with something else. They were being told if you didn't get across the border before he got the wall built and before he got his policies in place, you weren't going to get across
Yeah,
the
because
border.
he was building it so quickly.
Right. And it,
So
and it
Trump,
went, right.
Trump sucked at that just as much.
Right.
I mean, I'm telling you right now, and all of them need to go. We blow at this, and they need to turn it over to the business people that can come up with solutions, because that's how our world is.
Right.
And I'm telling you, instead of giving me word salad, which is what Trump does about because I really don't think he said all these things and he was going to do all these things, but nothing happened. He had 2 years to get it done, and nothing happened. So it's not a simple problem. You and I are dealing with one of the biggest problems we have in this town. It's not a simple problem, and it's taken us almost 20 years to make a dent in homelessness.
14. We're not at 20 yet.
I'm at 20.
You've been at it longer than me.
I'm at 20. It was 2003 for me.
Aren't you glad I came alongside?
Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness you came along when I was doing the autism thing, and you brought me back. But I mean, we're just starting to make a pimple in it. So it is a problem. It needs to be handed down from Democrat to Republican to Democrat, because it's always going to switch back and forth.
Yeah.
It's always going to switch back and forth. It's just if you look at the history over the last 100 to 150 years, it's going to switch back and
You want
forth.
to do some trivia?
I'd love to.
Or you want to do 10 minutes of trivia, 12 minutes of trivia?
Oh, that's right. I forgot what time we started. I was like, wow, I feel like we've been talking a long time.
All of us did a really good job of filibustering today, except for Amanda. Amanda kept all of her answers short and
Well,
concise.
you scolded her when she stepped on you. So
Yeah.
let's do
You
some
beat
trivia.
me down.
Don't
I get
speak
quiet.
again. No, just-
Exactly. We'll just find out what gets put in your food tonight.
I invited you to this. Actually, Darcy invited you to
That's
this
true.
tonight, so it wasn't even me.
You just
Okay,
financed it.
so in the news, which California congressman is in trouble for claiming on his mortgage on his house in California and his house in Maryland that they were his
Your
primary-
hometown.
They're his primary residence. So this went on for a number of years. It was finally changed in 2020, but you're not allowed to declare two homes your primary residence. You have to have one and not the other one. You can't get those tax benefits in both
So
states.
this is California Democrat who claimed a residence in California
Yes.
and
And they're a
Maryland.
House member, not a Senate member, so I'll help you out there. So which California Democrat has been accused of this?
House member.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say Pelosi.
I don't know where her association with Maryland would be, but I don't have a better answer. In 2020, she probably went through a lot of more scrutiny. So I'm gonna say Pelosi also. I'll go with that.
Is this a House member who is going to become a senator?
It's a House member.
So I'm trying to remember what the guy's name is who wants to be the first one who's going to be locked up by the military. Who's the congressman? His name starts with an S, and I can't think of his name right now.
Swami
Swilwell?
Samsonite.
Swalwell.
Yeah.
Oh, I
One
was
that
so
was
close.
having sex with Chinese spies.
No, then it's the other one.
Matahari.
Who's running for Senate?
Has he
Schiff?
been referred to as pencil neck by Donald Trump?
Probably.
Adam
Are you talking
Shifty
about
Schiff.
Schiff?
There you go. Right. Yeah, him.
Yes.
It's shift.
Adam Shifty Schiff, the guy who has sold us the fake Russian dossier, went out and lied repeatedly about Donald Trump, is the guy that may or may not have.
Here,
said
California
that
is
here's how
post-truth.
embarrassing it is. I thought he was a senator.
Well, he will be.
I thought he was a senator in California already. So
Yeah.
Well, he will because the
I was over here like,
third
what?
baseman ain't polling too well right about now.
yeah.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, I think Steve Garvey would be a great senator.
What'd you
Yeah,
say?
yeah.
Third?
Awesome.
And you probably
Wait,
think
wait.
Tommy Tuberville is a good senator.
You said
He's an amazing senator.
Oh,
I think
he's an
one of the
idiot.
best ones we've ever had.
You said third
Once he
baseman?
learns the three branches of government, come on.
Lenny, you said third baseman?
Wait, where did Garvey
base.
play?
He was a first baseman. Say played third base. He played third base half of his rookie year. That's the only time he ever
well,
played
see,
third
he
base.
started out as a third baseman.
Okay.
Lenny, it's called sports ball. If you don't know anything about it,
All right. Well, I'm gonna have Amanda fill me in.
He knows the Mets. No, the Penguin. the
Stop bringing up my misery.
Penguin was the third baseman on that team. They had Russ. Yeah, that was
but-
Ron saying he ran like a penguin.
all
Did
right.
Garvey play for San Diego?
Yep.
Did he play third base for San Diego?
No, he played first base when he was with the Padres.
Okay.
All right, so this week,
He still ain't winning the Senate race.
No.
Okay.
I don't think he's winning the Senate race.
Yeah.
Now, if he wins the Senate race,
Then it's Trump in a landslide.
it's not
I will-
Trump in
I will say that.
It's not Trump in a landslide. It's Trump with 48 states.
Right.
I mean,
all he's got to do is get all his illegitimate children to vote for him. Because you know that's the reason like they stopped naming schools after people that were alive was because of Steve Garvey.
no,
So Steve Garvey, they named a school in San Diego after Steve Garvey.
I did not know
All
that.
right, and they had to change the name of the school because he ended up having 2 illegitimate children.
So what you're
He
telling
was just
me,
trying to populate the school.
what you're telling me is he's already been practicing at being a politician.
Yeah, no, he's in Trump training. That's why Trump's like,
Well,
that's my guy.
So there was a great joke this week. Maria Shriver was interviewing Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris, right? And the joke was, well, what do these two have in common? I don't know. Maybe we should ask their nannies how they got pregnant.
No. Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, I know. I heard that and I was like, oh my gosh. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
To quote Mike Myers, that was offsides, wasn't it?
Who writes these stuff? All right. So lithium is a huge product for making batteries for EV cars. We've been told time and time again that all of the reserves for lithium are either in China or Afghanistan. This week, they found between 5 and 19 million tons of lithium in which U.S. southern state? Troy Blevins.
Which
That's
U.S.
right.
southern state?
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna go with something like Louisiana.
Arkansas.
It's Arkansas.
Are you just saying that because he sounds confident?
That's
No, it's because we talked about it yesterday on the show.
Oh, okay. So you had inside information.
obviously I didn't watch the show.
Do you actually listen?
Loyalty test.
You actually listen to what I said? Amanda's getting a raise.
So Arkansas can go from being like the 49th poorest state
yes.
to being one of the top 10 wealthier states.
But I'm going to tell you, there's two people right now who are completely pissed off that they didn't.
Clintons.
The Clintons. They could have owned all of it. They could have owned it all.
Was it Whitewater? Is that what it's
Yeah,
called?
right.
Part of this goes under that Whitewater development. This isn't over yet, America.
I told you there was money there.
I told you there was something fishy. I just didn't know what it was.
There's lithium in
always
them darn
money in the banana
hills.
stand.
Oh, gosh. All right, Lenny.
Hi.
Vice President Harris is planning her final campaign speech at this symbolic spot.
The ellipse where Trump fomented insurrection.
I disagree at the end of your sentence.
However, the location is correct.
Right, the locate. Amanda.
I'll go with Lenny on this one.
Same. I got to get on the board.
You're now on the board. We're 3 in, and Lenny hasn't missed a question.
He's winning.
Yes.
That's right. It's early.
Mike, can you do me a favor?
Much like Kamala
Yes.
was.
On that microphone, and I don't know if you noticed, there's a magnet on it that wasn't there this morning. Look to your right.
Over here.
What is that?
Wonder Woman.
Yes. Sort
It's a
of.
picture of my wife.
That was
Well played.
Wonder Woman.
Well played.
Linda Carter is not your wife.
My wife is Wonder Woman.
Your wife.
Do you know the original Wonder Woman was blonde? It was a TV movie before Linda Carter played it in the series.
Okay.
Kathy Crosby or Kathy
Yeah.
something.
Kathy
played it.
Lee Crosby?
No.
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 It was
Um,
it was Kathy something. I want to say the last name was Crosby.
Is this a question?
No. You got me sidetracked. I love this. This is very cute.
Yeah, it's going to come down
Very
tomorrow.
cute. Yeah. Now that you know I like it, it's got to come down.
I was definitely coming down tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. All right. So which network, I wish I had my glasses and I don't have to squint. Which network had an...
Here, I'll read it.
No. Okay. Had an interview with women of color, African-American women, and one of the women said this about Vice President Harris. She's a woman of color. I'm not putting her down because of that. I'm not putting her down because she's a woman. I'm not a feminist. I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, I don't think she has the personality, a woman named, blah, blah, blah. I don't think she has what it takes to stand up against Putin. So which network aired this interview, Amanda?
Oh, it would be funniest on MSNBC. So I'm going to go with that.
I'll say CNN.
I think it was CNN.
Yeah, probably right.
For the tie with Lenny, MSNBC.
Ooh.
MSNBC.
I didn't know they still had a network.
Yeah. All right.
904 now passed them in the ratings.
I think a blank screen is now past the
They are,
ratings.
you know, I listen to them, and it's hard for me to listen to them, if you can believe that.
Yeah.
They're just,
Oberman and
it's,
Yeah.
oh no, I listen to them in the afternoon, and it's Deadline White House, and it's Ari Mel. I mean, but they're just, I mean, talk about Trump derangement syndrome. They're nuts.
yeah.
And if I'm telling you that, you got to put some weight
That's
onto
scary.
that.
There's hope for Lenny. There is hope for Lenny is starting to see the light.
Social Democrat, fiscal conservative,
Yes.
always have been.
Yes.
If it wasn't Trump on the ballot, Lenny would be voting Republican.
I wouldn't go that far.
Probably not.
Not yet.
Probably
Give it another
not.
year.
I'm going to tell you guys.
One
and
more election cycle
I'm
we
going
can
to
get
make.
Lenny.
I'm going to make this announcement just to get under your skin before you go home today.
Yeah.
I early voted,
Mm-hmm.
and I did vote for a woman for president.
Awesome.
Wow.
Jill
Stein.
Stein.
Jill Stein.
I wanted to just put that out there that
And
I
her
voted for a woman.
family is begging her to stop. Her
Yeah.
family, her children are going, Mom, you're killing me. And she doesn't care.
No.
She has no problem blowing up the world. That's
You know
her
what?
goal.
That means she has principles. I'm not a fan of her policies, but I love her principles.
Yeah.
I love RFK Jr.'s principles.
He's
love
gotten
that.
stranger.
No, I love him.
He's gotten
That's why I like
stranger.
him more.
Lenny, is he right about vaccines or not?
I don't think so, but we have a difference of opinion on that.
Troy Blevins, right or wrong about vaccines?
I don't care. I mean, I had to get it because of the
No.
thing.
Is he right about all the other vaccines that they're
Oh,
giving?
100%. 100%. So,
We are less healthy with more vaccines.
yeah. And,
That's
and,
possible.
And
We are less healthy.
because I had to do so much research on the autism side. We had to have a mandatory of like 12 and 75 where they're all lumped together and people go, oh, I didn't have that many shots. But there's actually over 35 vaccines that are all rolled in
Yeah.
to the current vaccines right now. And that comes from the most corrupt business, and that's Big Pharma, is the most corrupt business we have in the United States. But insurance is close. Insurance and pharma are pushing each other. So,
Well, my wife has the answer to all of this. You know, my wife Julie is firmly convinced that people don't eat enough dirt. You eat dirt, and you get
Big Pharma immunity.
yeah, that's exactly right. Seriously, Julie, eat
Farmers
dirt.
farmers get sick less.
Yeah.
So now that we know what Lenny's having for dinner, what are you guys having for dinner?
Well, that's
Fortunately, I do the
reason-
cooking in the family.
That's the reason they say that the European settlers, explorers, whatever that came to this country, why they were immune to the diseases and they weren't sick. But the Native Americans, they didn't engage in livestock agriculture. And so they didn't have that pig farm immunity. And so the Europeans did. So they had the diseases with them and the animals that they brought, they weren't sick. But the Native Americans didn't have that same exposure to dirt,
Any of
and,
that, right.
frankly, animal feces and animal mites that the Europeans did.
I would like to defend Lenny's wife. She did not say eat more dirt. She said your cooking tastes like dirt.
No, she'd be skinnier if she said that. Right, exactly. Trust me, I'm a trained professional. Don't try this. Don't try this at home.
Lenny's not good at certain things, but I'm pretty sure Lenny can cook.
Lenny,
I was
you
about
can
to
cook
say-
dinner for us anytime.
Sure.
We're here Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night next week. We'll be
Normally at
happy.
5.
Yes, normally at 5. We're happy to eat. Troy's brought drinks with him. We didn't even get to the drinks
Oh,
yet.
yeah.
Oh, but we will soon.
Yes.
Stick around for bollocks at 6:34.
There you go.
All right, we're tied 3-1-1. Which demonic group shown in horror movies had their posse endorse VP Harris today?
Are we talking? Who's first?
Troy's up.
horror
Troy's up
movies?
Which
first.
demonic group?
Which demonic group? I say they're demonic. They're in horror movies,
Okay.
right? They're a group within horror movies that I think are the scariest group in horror movies. They have a posse, and their posse endorsed VP Harris today.
Who? I mean, I was going with zombies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't know. You know, I'm just going to stick with that because I think that includes The Walking Dead and those.
Okay, Lenny?
Satanists?
The Klan.
You guys all missed this, and it's really hard to kind of frame the question correctly, so it wasn't clown posse.
Oh, yeah, see?
Posse.
Clown posse.
Right, but they're not horror
The
movies.
clown posse. The clown
Yeah,
posse's an
they
actual
exist. They're
musical
real.
group.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's a musical
yeah.
group.
Yeah, that's the
But they're
Boogaloo's.
also the
Yeah.
scariest things in horror movies.
They
of
were
all time.
wrestlers too.
Were they
Well, you
really?
got clowns and then you got the clown posse.
No,
There's a distinction.
The Insane Clown Posse
Right.
is a musical group,
Right.
and then they went into professional wrestling.
Yes.
The
And-
Juggalos.
Yeah,
Is that what
they're
they are?
just-
No, that's the man show. It's the Boogaloo's.
Yeah,
So,
Boogaloo.
so also you have witches that have been trying to cast spells on Donald Trump.
Yeah.
They have been.
How's that working?
Right.
They're saying that
They've
there's
been doing
something
it for a long time.
surrounding him and they can't get to him. So
Weird. I
All
wonder
right.
what that
All
thing
right.
is.
right
So-
now, Lenny has 3, Amanda has 3, Troy has 1. Congratulations to you two
Tie.
because we have run out of time.
But I have
And neither of
whiskey.
us had to go for
Troy
to say
has- Troy has
69.
whiskey. We're gonna get to your whiskey.
Yeah.
So you've got some whiskey. Bring out the one you right there on the desk for Bollocks tonight.
All right, so we have to make a decision.
Okay.
We
Gotta
have
hold him up.
the
Move him that
new.
way.
Yeah, hold him up right there. Oh, sorry about the
His
microphone.
arms aren't long enough.
Ooh, that's
so-
dark rum. I'm excited.
I'm part T-Rex. So we have the rum and we have the mango
Mango.
daddle whiskey, which we've never had in here before. This rum reserve, I have sipped it at a fundraiser, and it's amazing. So, Lenny, you get to make a choice.
How aged is the rum? Does it say how aged the rum is?
It doesn't say, I don't think.
Okay.
So I don't see it that quickly.
Okay, so I knew we were doing rum today, so I brought in some tonic and some club soda just in case it was a white rum and we could use some mixers. But for a dark rum like that, I can sip that plain.
This is a sipper.
Absolutely.
This is a sipper. We're not-
Absolutely.
It's a sipper.
Yep.
Was its mother a sipper? Was its father a sipper?
As long as you're not a mother sipper.
Nice.
I love Seinfeld references.
So
He's a mutter. He can run in the mud. His father was a mutter. His father was a
His father
mutter.
was a mother.
Amanda got the reference. So the mango daddle one is intriguing.
yes.
I like mangoes.
So this
I
is
like
probably going to be
daddle.
next week.
I love
Okay.
whiskey.
I think we're going to do mango daddle whiskey
You're
next
gonna be
week.
out of town
And I'll be here.
Yeah.
next
We're
week.
filming
weeks.
early. We're
In 2
filming
weeks.
early next week.
Okay. Are we?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got to somehow do a Halloween show before Halloween because nobody wants to be here on Halloween.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I got to be home and Mark safe from clowns.
Insane clown
Insane
posse.
clown posse.
Yes.
Yeah,
Insane
we
clown
might
posse.
have to do an early taping also on Wednesday. So
Works
for
for me.
Bollocks.
Yeah, we
Because I like giving out candy.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do it. So Wednesday we may have to do a show. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
We'll work that out next week. You guys have a great weekend. Stay sane out there. Don't let this stupid election let you lose friends
Really?
and get mad at people. Just respect people that disagree with you. I saw somebody the other day had I voted sticker. I just didn't get a chance to go up to him and say, "Hey, congratulations! I'm
Hold
glad
on.
you
You
voted."
created some confusion. The shows will air at the normal time.
Yes,
Yes,
they
Next
will.
week we're gonna pre-tape them.
We'll pre-tape
So they'll
one
be on at
show.
regular time.
Right.
You
You're
can
gonna
watch
pre-tape
us
one.
while you're giving out candy.
Yes,
Right.
Of course.
There you
which
go.
will help break up the monotony of kids screaming, "I want candy."
Aw, it's so much fun.
See, you got to live on a dead end street.
At least it's at the end before we
The
get
neighbors' kids have grown up.
copyright
They go
strike.
out of town or they go to a fancy neighborhood, and I get all the candy for myself because nobody rings our doorbell.
I usually get 4 really huge groups.
Yeah.
And this is for everyone next week that gets candy corn that they don't want. We
Oh,
are
stop
taking
it.
we are taking candy corn donations here at the 904 Now studio for Amanda. So please save all the unwanted candy corn. It will be a lot. I expect a ton, but Amanda would love to have it.
I'm going to be late for the event tonight because I'm going to go get candy corn that I can slip into your food. Candy corn tacos on the menu tonight.
It's been a great week.
Candy
We're
corn
going to Recovery
tacos.
RX's fundraiser. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.